All right, guys. So, looks like it needed to wait till noon for us to be able to look at this. So, it's noon. Let's go. All right, so just opened up murders at Karlov Manor. We're going to claim, what are you? Massacre Girl, known killer. Menace 4 4 for 4. Creatures have Wither. Wither is it deals damage equal in the form of -1 counters. I like it. I've missed Infect, and I was actually just complaining about that to a buddy of mine today. You know, being able to see Infect and have it working is absolutely incredible. And now that, if a creature gets these -1 counters, it can help you kind of whittle away at some of these bigger things that are a pain in the ass. So, like that I got her. I did pre-order this. Let's see if the value's there. But let's see here. Creature control have Wither. It's a card style, so that's cool. Then you got the 5 specialty packs and the 50, of course. Let's claim. Yep. Get started. Let's go to packs. We know where it's at. We'll wait for these golden packs. Let's just slide on over. Come on. There we go. Boom. Open 10. And that's going to get us to, let's see here, 91.3. Maybe a little higher. Oh, 91.3 is fine. All right. First up, Lazav, Wearer of Faces. 2/3 for 2, legendary. Attacks, exile a card from a graveyard, then investigate. Investigate is create a clue with pay 2, sack, draw a card. That's not bad. So he attacks, exiles, which, I mean, with all the graveyard recursion is great, and then drawing a card. When you sacrifice a clue, you may have him become a copy of the card, or a creature card exiled. That could get real nasty. Ooh. Forensic Gadgeteer. 2/3 for 3. Whenever you cast an artifact, investigate. Activated abilities, artifacts you control 1 less to activate. I like that because it means your investigation only costs 1. This effect doesn't reduce the mana and that cost to less than 1. Still, though, I mean, turns over your investigate to 1, so speeding up that card draw engine is nice. Assassin's Trophy. A lot of these 2-drops. Black-green, destroy target permanent and opponent controls. His controller may search library for a basic land, put it onto the battlefield. I love that it's an instant speed and it destroys a permanent. I hate that it gives them mana advantage. I don't know how I feel about that. Deadly Cover-Up, 5-drop. In additional cost, you may collect evidence 6. That's exile cards with total mana 6 or greater from your graveyard. Destroy all creatures. All right. If evidence was collected, exile a card from an opponent's graveyard, then search that owner's graveyard, hand, and library for same number of cards and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each exiled. Everything's great except for that last bit. I don't want them drawing cards. Do not want your opponents drawing cards. All right, Judith, Carnage Connoisseur. That's 5 for a 3/4. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, choose 1. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink, so that's spicy. Create a 2/2 red imp with, when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. It's not bad. I feel like there's definitely some burn decks that are going to take advantage of this. And I mean, it's a 3/4, and that's every time you cast an instant or sorcery. That's going to be pretty powerful. Cryptic Coat. When it enters the battlefield, cloak top of your library, then attach it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0, can't be blocked. And to cloak a card, put it on the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Ward 2 is nice. Turn it up anytime for its mana cost, if it's a creature card. And then you can bounce this back to your hand. That's going to be fun just because you can pull creatures in, and then you can turn it face up for its mana cost at instant speed, so that's going to be abused. And it's an artifact, so yeah, that's going to punish some people. All right. Tessia, Opulent Oligarch, 4/3, 2/3 Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life. When a clue you control is put into a graveyard, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This ability trigger. Okay, at least it's only once each turn. You can't absolutely blow that out. Yeah, doesn't suck. If it made Death Touch creatures, it would be insanely powerful. It's already good. 10th District Hero. 2/3 for 2, already good. Pay 2, collect evidence 2. 10th district becomes a human detective with base power toughness 4 and gains vigilance. Ooh, looks like this is the White Knight version of a card I love to play. I'll tell you about that later. Collect evidence 4 for 3. If he's a detective, becomes a legendary creature named Mileva the Steward, has a base power toughness of 5, and gains other creatures you control have indestructible. Yeah, that's going to be in the human deck now. And another one. Good deal. And another cryptic coat. All right. So, not bad off there. We're not going through the uncommons and commons. We can do that at a later date. Just discussing how some of those are going to be played in some decks I'm building later. All right. Case of the Stashed Skeleton. So, it's enchantment case. For 2, when it enters a battlefield, create a 2/1 skeleton creature and suspect it. It has menace and can't be blocked. Okay. To solve, you control no suspected skeletons. So you solve and pay 2, sacrifice this case, search your library for a card, put it into your hand, and shuffle, activate only as a sorcery. So, okay, it's got the aggression, and if they kill it and then you solve for it with 2, you get to dig. I like it. You can probably also use that as a sacrifice token engine as well. So that'll be used. Ill-Time Explosion for 4. Draw 2 cards. You may discard 2 cards. You may. If you do, it deals X damage to each creature where X is the greatest mana among cards discarded this way. That could be big. I mean, there's some 9-drops and stuff. And with the recursion, running that with a little bit of black-green, it could be okay. We'll see. Doorkeeper Thrall. Flash 1/2, flying. Artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. That could be fun. That could be real fun. Especially in mono white humans. Kylox, Visionary Inventor. 7-drop. Menaced Ward 2 and Haste 4/4. When it attacks, sacrifice any number of creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library where X is their power. You may cast any number of those instant or sorceries from among the exiled without paying their mana cost. Yeah, that's going to be abused. There's going to be some combo in there. Assemble players, 2-drop enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Once each turn, you may cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. Also good. You can dig through, grab a lot of stuff. See that in small decks, just building speed too fast. Krinko, Baron of 10th Street. Haste 3/3 4/3, already good. Tap, sack an artifact, put a +1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard, you may pay a red. If you do, create a 1/1 goblin creature token. It gains haste until end of turn. So, yeah, him. He's also going to be in red. God, that's mean. Making tokens, making them bigger too. Make himself bigger. Reenact that crime. 3 blue and 1 for that 4 instant target. Exile target non-land card in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Ooh. It targets a graveyard, but if you counter a spell and then hit it with that, that could be pretty good. And it's non-land card, so you can definitely grab a fatty if you can get that milled. That's a graveyard? Ugh. That's a graveyard, so you can mill yourself, reenact the crime, copy it for 4. Yeah, that's going to be... Ugh. All right, Underground City Island Swamp enters tapped, but you get to survey 1, and it adds mana there. I like that. Case of the Ransacked Lab. Got another case here. 3-drop instant sorceries cost 1 less to cast. Solve if you cast 4 more instants or sorceries this turn. Wow. Solved whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, draw a card. And then Vein Ripper. 6-drop, 3 black in that. Flying Ward 6/5. Sack a creature whenever a creature dies. The ward is sacrifice a creature. Nice. Heavy against control decks. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. So he's a big fatty. He costs a little more than my 4-drop 6/6er, but definitely a better card overall, and it doesn't lose you the game either. All right, Forensic Gadgeteer, we went over that. Archdruid's Charm, 3 green. So here's another. It's an instant though. Search your library for a creature or land, reveal it, put it into the battlefield tapped if it's a land, otherwise put it in your hand, then shuffle. Put a +1/+1 on a creature you control. It deals damage equal to its power to the creature you don't control, or exile target artifact or enchantment. It's solid. It's green. It's not terrible. Gives you some functionality. The 3 green kind of sucks. I feel like it should have been 2 green and 1. Underground Mortuary. Same with this Survey. Comes into play tapped, but I like that it's dual land with dual properties. Aurelia, the Law Above, 5-er, Flying, Vigilance, Haste, 4/4. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. That's a player, so if somebody swings in on you, you draw a card. Gives you some defensive ability there. Whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, Aurelia deals 3 damage to each of your opponents. You gain 3 life. Not bad. I see that going a couple different ways and some good decks there. Deadly Cover-Up we discussed. Ooh, already a gold card? Connecting the Dots. All right, 2-drop enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. Pay 2, discard your hand, sacrifice this, put all exiled cards into their owner's hand. That'll be good for red. So as you burn out your hand early and you're exiling cards, you're able to replenish your hand, so that's going to go in mono red. Wojek Investigator, a 2/4 Flying Vigilance for 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards than you. Ooh, that's mean. Etrata, Deadly Fugitive, 3-drop, 1/4 Death Toucher. Face down creatures you control have pay 4, turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Then you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. So this Vampire Assassin is definitely bringing some pain and some 2-drops. And then Aurelia's Vindicator. 4-drop, 4/2, Flying, Lifelink, Ward 2, Disguise for X3 and a white. When it is turned face up, exile up to X other target creature cards from the battlefield and or creature cards from the graveyards. When it leaves the battlefield, return those cards to their owner's hands. Interesting. Yeah, it's another card that's going to be abused. So there we are. Let's see, where are we at now? We're still at, we have 20 more left. Pop, Lock, and Drop-In. Archdruid's Charm we saw. Lush Portico, glad to see the green-white land. There's the blue-black land. Another gold. Case of the Stash Skeleton. Elegant Parlor, almost got all the lands. All right. Anzrag's Rampage, 5-drop. Destroy all artifacts you don't control. Then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. You may put a creature card exiled this way onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to your hand at the end of the next end step. That could be a lot of fun because that'll pull cards in. You can't control it. I don't care about that because you can't exile or destroy all artifacts because you could ramp up your own artifacts. That would be fun, but still, it may have a place. Analyze the Pollen. Green, an additional cost to cast a spell. You may collect evidence 8. Search your library for a basic land. If evidence was collected, instead search your library for a creature or land, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Not bad for a green. I think definitely has a lot of value there. Ooh. A random, and then a Conspiracy Unraveler. 7-drop for a 6/6 flying. You may collect evidence 10 rather than pay the mana cost for spells you cast. That's also interesting because that'll help you dig, and then you just pay it for free without mana. That seems good, especially if you can put that out early. We're going to have a lot of graveyard recurring things. I can feel that. All right, so I opened up 1 by accident instead of 10, so we'll get this right off. Underground Mortuary, good deal. All right, let's open up the last 9 and see what we got. First up, Officious Interrogation. 2-drop, instant. This spell costs an additional white and blue more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target players. Investigate X time, where X is the number of creatures those players control. Interesting. Not bad, but interesting. Deadly Cover-Up we've seen. Underground Sewers we've seen. Lamplight Phoenix. 3-drop, 3/3 flyer. Already good there. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4. If you do, return it to the battlefield tapped. That's not bad at all. That keeps the heat on. I like that a lot. Lush Portico we've seen. Sharp-Eyed Rookie. It's a new 2/2. 4/2 with Vigilance. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its power is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie or its toughness is greater, put a +1/+1 counter on it and investigate. Okay, so has the opportunity to grow. Vibe in that. Elegant Parlor and Massacre Girl Known Killer. We got that as a part of picking up the full set. Good deal. Golden Pack. I know this is really what people were wanting to see. Let's go. All right. Ooh, look at there. Boom. Invasion of Arcavios. And these are all cards that are not a part of the new set. So if there's anything crazy that I'm like, oh, this will be worth touching on, we'll discuss. Argentium Masticore. Always like Masticores. They're a fun little card at times. Let's see if there's anything good. Hedge Mage, like that. Raucous Theater. Spellbook Vendor. Atali, Primal Conquer. This asshole has cost me more games, and just take a beating from this guy because he'll bring in so many powerful cards. Absolute boss. So glad to see I get him here. Vicious Interrogation, we saw that. Thunderous Debut, it's okay. Hedge Mage, Throne of the Grim Captain. Mill 2, Craft with a Dinosaur, Merfolk, Pirate, or Vampire. He gets to be pretty mean. Kind of gimmicky, but I haven't seen him work at all, so I'm going to say that. Kind of gimmicky. Tablet of Completion, haven't seen that used much. Simian Simulacrum. I like Simulacrums as a whole. This one doesn't seem bad. Whenever he enters the battlefield, put +2 counters on target creature you control. So he either comes in as a 4/3 once or twice based on the unearth, so he's not bad. Forensic Gadgeteer, we just saw. Thundering Fall, so lots of stuff from the new set. Vindictive Flamestoker, haven't seen that used much. Invasion of Kaldheim, haven't seen that one used much either. Let's see, a Rotisserie Elemental, it's new. Menace, 1/1 for 1. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a skew counter on it, may sacrifice it, and then exile top X cards, where X number of skew counters. You may play those cards this turn. Okay, I mean, there's better cards in that slot. Deadly Cover-Up. Assemble the players. You may look at the top card. We just discussed that one. Kaya, Intangible Slayer. All right, Hexproof, 6-drop for 7. Each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. I like that. Draw 2 cards. Each opponent can scry, exile target creature enchantment. If it wasn't an aura, create a token with a copy of it. That except it's 1/1 spirit with flying in addition to other types. It's okay. Like I don't have her in my black-white deck, and I haven't picked her up. The Hexproof's nice, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of use for that because it targets creatures and enchantments, but I can't get artifacts. I can't get anything else for that. Graz, Unstoppable Juggernaut for 8. I like how they make Juggernauts, but it's okay. Other creatures you control have base power toughness of 5, 3, and the Juggernauts in addition to type. So they can't be blocked. He swings, but for 8 for 7/5, he's just not great. No witness. Each player who controls the most creatures investigates, then destroys all creatures. Okay, so you get a benefit of that. It's a Wrath of God. Kellyan, Inquisitive Prodigy. So let's see here. Basically a 3/4 for 4, but has Tail the Suspect as a sorcery. For a blue and a green, investigate. You may play an additional land. I like that a lot. And then Flying Vigilance for 4-drop, 3/4 is awesome. When Kellyan attacks, destroy up to one target artifact. That's not deals damage, that's attacks, so that's really nice. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card. So if you have something that you need to get rid of, that's solid. I see him being good in stuff. Lazav, Wearer of Faces. We discussed that one. Voldaean Hexcatcher. Flash 1/1. Other Merfolks get +1/+1. I've seen that in Merfolk deck, and he beats my brains in. Appreciate the hell out of that. Rowan, Sign of War. 4/2 Menace for 3. And you can tap spells you cast this turn in black or red. Cost X less, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. So, activate as a sorcery. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you had a way to hurt yourself, she'd be better. But just the fact that she's a 4/2. Trostani, Tree Whispers. You get a 3 mana, at least 1 green or 2, and a white or 2. Legendary Dryad for 4. So if you're running that color combo, you're good to go in a 4-drop or a 3-drop for 4. Target creature gains Death Touch, target creature gains Vigilance, target creature gains Double Strike, and you're not limited to that. So, all right. I mean, definitely strong there. Ooh. Aklazot's Deepest Betrayal. This just a pain in the derriere to try to get rid of. Enjoy playing with them. Cityscape Leveler, 8/8 Trample. Whenever you cast a spell, whenever it attacks, destroy up to one target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a Power Stone. And, I mean, I like the fact that it tramples, and more importantly, the fact it's non-land permanent. It's like, get out of here. And Atraxia, the Grand Unifier, who has given me, and, God, I don't know. Every time I see this, there's a 70% chance I lose. So, Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink, 7/7, 4/7. Now, yes, you have to have almost all the colors except for red, but let's face it, you're running green anyways, and splashing a couple others isn't bad. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card revealed, you may put a card of that type revealed into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, her, and when you throw in that red for Atali, it just terrible things happen. Usually he brings her in, and I just get my shit packed. So it's not a good time. But guys, thank you very much. We were able to go through those packs, discuss some cards. I'll be making some more content soon.